Hi, you're watching This Brand Geek, and in this video I'm going to give you my top 7 things that stood out to me when watching the Apple WWDC keynote today. Well, technically yesterday, because it's 12:20 now, so it's past midnight. Anyways, when watching the keynote, I took notes, and as always, you have access to those notes. I wrote about 2,500 words, and you can read them all as an article on X. The link to the article is in the video description, so if you do want a comprehensive breakdown of everything Apple announced at WWDC, click the link in the video description, and that will take you to an article on X, and you can read everything there. I was going to turn those notes into a script for this video, and then I realized just midnight, and if I carry on down that path, this video won't get posted for another 3 days. Let's just not do that. So anyways, I'm not filming on the main camera, no fancy editing in this video, just pure information. I'm filming on the DJI Pocket 3 right now, and these are the top 7 things that stood out to me from the Apple WWDC keynote. Starting with the Vision Pro, VisionOS2 is coming out soon, and one of the new features is the wraparound display when using the Vision Pro with your Mac. So when you look at your Mac, it prompts you to bring up like a virtual screen, and that virtual screen was just like a normal 16:9 4K screen, but now you can extend it to an ultra wide, and you can also extend it to like a full wraparound display, which is the equivalent of 2 4K displays. I thought that looked amazing, and that's what stood out to me with the Vision Pro announcements. Vision Pro is entering new territories on June the 28th, and it's coming here in the UK on July the 12th. Anyways, moving on to iOS 18 coming to the iPhone, a couple of things that stood out to me in regard to that was home screen customization along with control center customization. This has been a long time coming, and when you talk to Android fans about why they don't want to switch to Apple, one of the things that they come out with is, you can't customize the home screen. Well, now you can. You can put the apps wherever the hell you want. The app icons have a dark mode, and you can change the color of the app icons to any color you want. So it's very customizable now, and the control center, which has needed an update since the beginning of time, finally has pages now, and you can have groups and then add new pages and organize it properly. So Control Center isn't a complete train wreck anymore, and I'm actually excited about these features, which is why it made my top 7 list. Another feature from iOS 18 is satellite texting, or texting via satellite. I think the whole emergency satellite texting thing that came to iPhones from the iPhone 14, I think it was amazing. If you get stranded somewhere, not that I freaking go anywhere, but if I was to get stranded somewhere, I could send an SOS out via satellite. Now they're opening that up so you can actually message people via satellite using iMessage or normal text messaging. They didn't mention RCS in this segment of the keynote though, but I guess it would work with RCS. But anyways, you can text via satellite now, and they didn't say it costs anything. So it looks like you can just go anywhere, connect to the satellites, and send messages, which is great for safety, people getting lost. I mean, if you go out in the wilderness in the middle of nowhere with no phone signal and you have no internet, what's the point of even being there? But if you are that way inclined, at least now you can keep in touch. Next up, going over to WatchOS11 coming to the Apple Watch. One of the standout features for me from WatchOS11 was the Vitals app. The new Vitals app seems really cool. It keeps track of all your vitals, like your temperature, your heart rate, your breathing, and all that sort of thing. And it monitors it on like your normal trend. And if something is out of the ordinary, it'll keep an eye on it, and then it'll alert you saying something in your health has changed, so you should probably go and get it checked out. And the Apple Watch is just great. I mean, I love my Apple Watch. There are so many stories out there of the Apple Watch saving people's lives, and I love that Apple invests even more into health and the Apple Watch and that whole ecosystem to keep people healthy or continue saving more lives. So I think the Vitals app on WatchOS11 is a really good addition. Next up, we have one of the biggest announcements that Apple made throughout the whole keynote, and that was of course a feature coming to iPadOS 18, and that feature is the new calculator app. We have waited for a calculator on the iPad since it's been over a decade now. It's absolutely insane. I cannot believe it's taken this long to get an official calculator app on the iPad, and of course now that Apple's done it, it's in true Apple fashion. So not only is it a really cool calculator, big whoop, but now you've got this thing called Math Notes, so you can write equations on your screen with Apple Pencil and stuff, and it knows what you're doing. So you can type like 1 + 1 = and then it'll just put 2 there. And you can get really technical with it. There's like a whole video showing things that you can do, like you can draw diagrams and charts, and it knows what you're doing. So it'll work everything out in real time. It's really cool. And I love that the iPad finally has a calculator. Not that I'll ever use it, but it's cool that it has one. Moving right along, they announced a new version of Mac OS, and this time it's called Sequoia, which is really fun to say, Sequoia. It sounds much better than Sonoma. I thought Sonoma sounded like a freaking cancer or something. I hated that name, and I think a lot of people hated that name, judging by what I read online. But Sequoia sounds really fun. And one of the standout features from Mac OS Sequoia was iPhone mirroring. Now, when you talk about iPhone mirroring or mirroring in general, you would think that it's mirroring the phone screen and everything that's happening on the phone screen happens on the Mac. No. It's not that. It's so much more than that. You can literally pull up your iPhone on your Mac wirelessly now. And I mean pull up your entire iPhone. So a little screen comes up the same shape as your iPhone, and you can navigate your phone, open your apps, do whatever you want as if you were on your iPhone. And your iPhone can be in your pocket or your bag or whatever, or just in standby mode. And your iPhone screen will just be blank, and it'll just be as it acts in standby mode as it normally would. So if someone had your iPhone, they can't see what you're doing because it's not truly mirroring. It's actually just streaming everything to your Mac. Even if you had a notification on your iPhone, you don't have to pick up your iPhone and then action it. You can just click the notification on your Mac and it will bring up your virtual iPhone streaming from your real iPhone. And if you click the notification, let's say it's Uber Eats, it would open Uber Eats on your iPhone in the streaming version on your Mac. And you can do everything on your Mac. When you're on your Mac, you never have to touch your iPhone because your whole iPhone is on your Mac. It is so cool. What a badass feature to add to continuity. It just strengthens the whole ecosystem, you know? And it just makes having a Mac and an iPhone and an Apple Watch and an iPad and an Apple TV. I love the way these products work together. Yes, okay, it's not for everyone. If you like Android, that's fine. More power to you, that's great. I just love the way this all works together. And this feature that's a killer feature, seriously. Wow. And finally, clocking in at number 7 on the list, saving the best till last, is Apple AI, aka Apple Intelligence. I mean, I had to talk about this, right? I mean, how can you not? This is really cool. So Apple Intelligence is actually a large language model, just like ChatGPT, but the difference is that this is on device. So it's private and all the processing is done on device. I'll get to the cloud bit in a minute. So all the processing is done on device. So if you ask it questions or if you ask it to do something, key word there, it will just go and do it, and it's on device. Apparently this will work on iPhones with the A17 onwards, so iPhone 15 Pro onwards, and any M series processors, so the M1, M2, all the way up to the current gen M4, which obviously makes sense. And they are hell-bent on saying this is privacy first, it understands your personal context, and it does everything on device. And they really made a big deal out of that, about when you use other large language models, you're sending your data to a third-party company and they may misuse it and you don't know what they're doing with your data. You'll see why I'm making a big deal out of this in a second. So they basically made a really big deal about on-device large language models, Apple Intelligence, which is really cool. I love it. It looks amazing. But for them to make this really big deal about it being on device and then kind of taking a dump on other large language models because you're sending your data to all these companies, they then go on to talk about how it has this thing called private cloud compute, where if you ask Apple Intelligence to do something, aka Siri, say Siri, do this, and then it's like, I can't do this on device, it will then go and do it on the cloud, which is run on Apple servers with Apple Silicon. Then they're calling it private cloud compute and it's all encrypted and stuff. And they're saying that independent experts can actually scrutinize their cloud compute stuff and make sure it's safe and everything will be signed off as safe, so you can trust it and they don't see anything and it's all encrypted and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, the point is it's on device until it isn't on device. When the on device stuff can't do something, it will go to the cloud. But it's all within Apple, so everything's safe and it's privacy first and everything's good, right? Well, then they went and did something weird. And I found this really funny. So get this. So the Apple large language model, Apple Intelligence, Siri, whatever, is on device. When it can't process something on device, it will go to the private cloud compute. But this is all like a closed system, right? But if you need it to do something that requires access to the outside world, like the internet and whatever. Then Siri will say, can I go and ask ChatGPT this? And you have access to GPT 4.0, which is the new model for Omni or whatever it's called. And you don't need a ChatGPT account, but Siri will go and talk to ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT will give you all the answers and whatever. And if you're currently paying for ChatGPT, you can link your ChatGPT account to your iPhone, and then you can use all of your pro features from ChatGPT. Anyways, the point I'm making is that it's a large language model that's on device until it's not on device, but it's still secure in Apple's closed little garden. But then when you want to do something or get information that's not available in this closed system, it goes to an external large language model like ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT kind of takes it from there. But they just spent 10 minutes taking a massive dump on ChatGPT and large language models that require you to send them your data, and then they make it so you send them your data. I just don't get it. The messaging was so convoluted and it was kind of hypocritical. I mean, you can't talk about privacy and make a big song and dance about it and then say, oh, by the way, now go and use ChatGPT. The whole thing was just bizarre. I'm not complaining. I love ChatGPT. I will use it. I like that it's being integrated into iOS and iPadOS, by the way, and macOS. It's coming to the whole ecosystem, and it is really cool. I just think that the messaging was kind of weird because it said one thing and then did another thing. Anyways, Apple Intelligence with ChatGPT. Seriously, the iPhone AI implementation with Siri and everything, I think it's going to be insane. And they kept saying this is just the beginning. Honestly, it looks amazing. I mean, it can help you with your emails, it can help you rewrite things, it can proofread things for you. You can, oh, there's another thing, here's a bonus one. There's something called Genmoji, so you can literally make your own emojis. So you can make anything into an emoji or generate any emoji. And then there's this thing called Image Playgrounds where you can generate any images, kind of like DALL-E. Probably not like Midjourney, that's way more advanced, or it looks way more advanced anyways, but kind of like DALL-E where you can generate images, and because those images are being generated on device, it's unlimited, so you can just keep on generating images. It can even generate images based on your likeness or someone else's likeness, and the AI integrates into the whole of iOS and macOS and iPadOS. So search is going to be really powerful now, and it's conversational, and you can use natural language, so you don't have to talk to Siri as if she's a freak robot that only understands things if you say them a certain way. You can say it as if you're talking to a friend, just like you can with ChatGPT right now. But anyways, that's my list of 7 things that stood out to me from the Apple WWDC keynote today. It is now 12:37 a.m. I'm going to get to editing, and yeah. Like I said, this video is not scripted. I'm filming on the DJI Pocket 3 right now, so nothing fancy. Let's get to the edit. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, then please click like and subscribe if you haven't already. You've been watching This Brown Geek. Link is in the video description, by the way, for all of my comprehensive notes. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.